Hello, it is Katrina Russell again, and I hope you are staying safe and healthy. Um, so, Kamala Harris is the new vice president nominee, and I'm super confused by this. Super confused by this. Um, in case it's been missed by anybody who's watching, there's a giant, race war going on out there in the streets where people are looting and rioting and smashing, and there's a giant thing going on against police, how we need to defund the police and how the police are horrible and how laws are designed to keep black people in prison and all these things. They're literally rioting in the streets over this. And most of these people are on the left, liberals that are rioting and wanting to defund the police and crying about racism everywhere. And then Joe Biden is chosen to be the liberal, the left, the Democrat presidential campaign. And everything out of his mouth is racist. Everything. Like, he's basically said that all black people are the same, that all black people need to vote Democrat because they're poor and they need their subsidies. So if you vote Republican, you're not going to get your subsidies. Now mind you, 20% of black people are on some sort of assistance, which is very high. We need to work on that. But that means 80% are not. 80% of black people are perfectly fine, middle class or above. 80%. That is not, there's white people and then black people are poor. Meanwhile, 10% of white people are on some sort of subsidized something. Some sort of welfare. I'm using welfare because it's like a generic term. So there's way more white people because of population-wise. There's way more poor white people than there are poor black people. Way more. But Joe Biden puts it as there's, what did he say? Poor kids are just as smart as white kids or something like that. It's what? You're racist. You are a racist person. And this is the person that the Democrats have chosen to be their Democratic nomination. Okay. Well, maybe they're thinking, whatever. He's half dead anyway. No offense, Joe Biden. But, Alzheimer's taken away at that brain. And maybe they figure he's not going to do anything. He never did anything. He's never done anything. It doesn't matter. The vice president is the one that matters. So now he declared Kamala Harris, I'm trying not to eye twitch here, as the vice president nominee. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but vice president nominee called the presidential nominee a racist to his face and talked about all the racist things that he's done. And on top of that, this woman is known for being hard on specifically black American youth and putting them away for stupid things. Thousands of people put away for pot charges in California. Now it's legal in California. People are still sitting in jail though because they make extra money off of it. This is who they picked. They're opposed. I can't. They're opposed to racism and they're opposed to police because police are putting blacks in jail for stupid things more often. So they pick two people who support those policies the most. I swear to God, I've said this before. I'm from Massachusetts. Wicked liberal here. Wicked liberal. I have never voted for a Republican. I will admit I almost did because I wasn't quite sure about Obama when he first came out. I remember one of my friends being like, the man can speak. And I was like, being a great orator does not necessarily create a great leader. That's been proven. And I don't, but then McCain picked Palin, and so there was nothing I could do. I couldn't risk Palin becoming president. So I voted for Obama. And I was super liberal. And I thought, oh, Obama did a good job. Things are going well. I had no idea. I was in my little Massachusetts liberal bubble. And I voted for Hillary because, God forbid, I vote for Donald Trump. Like, that man was grabbing people by their beeping. Although I did like The Apprentice, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, sidestepping note. But my point is that I've always voted Democrat. I've always been a liberal. I've always been, pro gay marriage, and I don't care who uses what bathrooms, and of course gay people can adopt babies. That's stupid not to, and everybody should be equal. That just should be it. Everybody should, and when I mean be equal, I mean be given equal opportunities. There should be nothing that holds anybody back based on race, sex, gender, identity, whatever. Never cared. That's been my theory. Now I'm realizing that that's no longer the liberal leftist ideology anymore. That's more, apparently I'm becoming, I'm not becoming, I've always been the same, but apparently now it's considered more of a libertarian point of view. To just say, let anybody do whatever the fuck they want. Sorry, don't mean to swear, it's supposed to be family friendly. But let everybody do whatever they want. Like, what, like, why does anybody care is kind of my point. Like, just let people, as long as they're not hurting anybody else. That's always been my point of view. And everybody has to take responsibility for their own actions. That's the other half of it. Freaking Spider-Man world. With great power comes great responsibility. Yes, you have the right to do whatever you want, but the only way you're going to achieve anything is if you are responsible and make good choices. No one's seen a comic book. So, the left, however, has seemed to change the whole idea, and now it's everything is based on identity politics. California is literally talking about undoing civil rights laws because they think that people should be chosen based on their race and sex. That's why Kamala Harris was chosen, because he had to choose a black woman. He had to. So, because there aren't very many black women out there, especially not ones with a name recognition that could be president, because let's be honest, Mr. Cognitive declining Biden is not going to be president. They'd be lucky if he makes it a year without ending up, in a bed in a half-vegetated state. Does anybody know anyone with Alzheimer's? It moves pretty quickly. It's so horribly sad, but it does. So anyways, but because of that, they had to pick a black woman. They had to pick one with name recognition. Boom. A woman who laughs about putting young black men away in jail for free labor and extra money and extra costs at the public jails over freaking pot. I don't understand. Pick a narrative and stick to it. It's honestly, I've said it before, I have a video about this. I didn't understand how racist the country was until the liberals started spewing this stuff about how everybody who's white is racist. Doesn't matter what your thoughts are. Doesn't matter. You could be married to a black person, but you're a racist. You could have black children, but you're a racist. And now I'm realizing that they're so racist that they're literally they're rioting in the streets about how it's their responsibility as white people with power and privilege to help these poor, useless black people and give them a step up to help them. They're rioting in the streets for these poor, useless black people, as they're thinking that they are, because they can't build themselves up. Oh gosh, no. They can't make better choices. They're not capable of that. No, these empowered white people, I'm so sick of it, are the only ones who can do it, and then they choose for their presidential and vice presidential nominees racist people who like to lock black people up. I don't understand. I mean, I've never been a fan of Trump's. Well, I was when he was on The Apprentice, because that was just silly TV. But I've never been a fan of Trump as a president. I've agreed with some things he's done. I've disagreed with some things that he's done. I think he's kind of a tool in some ways. But at least he's consistent. At least he says shitty things. Sorry, again with mouth. But, that's what he believes. Take it or leave it. That's what he believes. The Democratic Party has no bleeping idea what they're doing, what they're thinking, they literally run in every direction just to get a vote. It doesn't even make a difference. We need to end the police. We need to give black people power. We're going to do that by getting a black person as a vice president. By getting the one who likes to just put black people in jail a lot on stupid things. And apparently crime rates in the area when she was the district attorney didn't go down. So she was arresting kids for stupid things like not going to school or being late for school and smoking weed, which kids do not smoke weed. It's not good. Your brain is not developed yet. If you want to do it as an adult and it's an illegal area, or if you need it for medical purposes, that's completely a different issue. It's similar to drinking. And drinking or drugs as a child, anything really under 25, it's going to cause major problems to your brain and your development. And I did not drink till I was over 25 because I knew this. This is not me being hypocritical. I really didn't. My friends used to tease me a lot, but I didn't do it because I wanted my brain to be functioning properly. And sometimes it does. Since becoming a mom, not so much. But anyway, yeah. So I'm in Massachusetts. Thankfully, the riots were put the kibosh pretty quick in Boston. They tried it, and the good thing about Boston is we're like, nah, dude, that's not going to happen here. I don't know if you guys remember the Boston bombing, which of course he's been let off. Well, not let off, but off the death penalty. I don't know if you remember the Boston bombings. It was 2 days. They shut all of Boston down. My mother-in-law lived down the street from where they caught the guy in Watertown. And, but it was done. You do not mess in Boston. You just don't. So when the riots started in Boston, people were like, nah, dude. And we're very Irish in Boston. Don't know if you know that. But so many cops that are just like neighborhood guys that just in Boston, it's not good. It's not good to happen. So anyways, so I'm very lucky and I'm very fortunate that has not been. I still haven't taken my kid into Boston just in case. And we had plenty of Black Lives Matter rallies everywhere, and protests, which were fine. I have no problem with protests. I have no problem with rallies. I have no problem with anything like that until they start smashing things and destroying other people's property. But it'll be interesting because right now the Democratic Party in every city is saying, oh, we shouldn't arrest anybody that's doing all this violent behavior. But they want to put people in major office that have spent their careers putting people in jail for stupid things and being super racist and coming up with racist policies. I'm telling you. Have you guys heard of this D'Angelo book, White Fragility? The woman is literally an admitted racist. She says straight in her book, I realized I'm racist once I got out into, like, she was raised in some small town area, had no black friends, and now she came out in the real world and realized there were black people and realized, oh, I'm afraid of black people. I must be racist. So she assumes everybody is. She assumes that because she is, that means everybody must be. And I'm feeling like that's the whole Democratic Party. Is like, they think a certain way about black people. They think they're poor. They think they're uneducated. They think they're violent. They think they're all these things. But it's not their fault because they're less than, is their attitude. And that's racist. And so I'm realizing, like, I've had conversations with people. I'm like, wait, what you're saying to me is racist. And their opinion of me is that because I don't believe that white people need to fix black people and that black people are incapable of taking care of themselves and that it's not people's choices that cause problems, but that that they just literally cannot, they're not smart enough to make proper choices. That's what I'm told by people. It's not their fault. It's just the way, like, it's just how they are. No, that's racist. I'm sorry. 80% of black Americans live in perfectly fine middle class or higher homes. They're smart. They're funny. They're wonderful people. Not all 80% are wonderful people. I'm sure there's plenty of shitty people out there. But they're perfectly capable of making good choices. But the Democrats have put racist, like, law abusing people back in power, or they're trying to, in order to curb racism. That's all I had. That's all I had to say. Kamala, that's all I have to say. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, hit all that kind of stuff. And I will talk to you later. Bye.